And now we return to the Roaring Twenties, under the presidency of Calvin Coolidge. President Calvin Coolidge became president with the death of President Harding. President Coolidge then ran for office in 1923 and was elected the 30th President of the United States. He was the first president to make a public radio address. He died in 1933 after serving 6 years as president. Andrew Mellon was the Secretary of Treasury during the decade of the 1920s. He was the Secretary of Treasury under President Harding, President Coolidge, and President Hoover. As the architect of the economic boom after World War I, known as the Roaring Twenties, it was his use of the supply-side economics that brought the roar into the economy of America. Consumerism. Consumerism is a social and economic order that encourages the purchase of goods and services in an ever greater amount. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the founder of the Ford Motor Company and developed the assembly line to manufacture affordable cars. The most famous of these cars being assembled was the Model T Ford. Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh was an aviator who made the first non-stop solo flight from New York to Paris in his plane, the Spirit of St. Louis. He was a symbol of American ingenuity. The Palmer Raids came about as part of the Red Scare in America. The government attempted to arrest and deport radicals such as anarchists and communists. Mitchell Palmer was the Attorney General who instituted the Palmer Raids, but they were led by J. Edgar Hoover, who later becomes the director of the FBI. Immigration restrictions. During the 1920s, America experienced a return to nativism. During this time, the government passed the Emergency Quota Act, a law that put limitations on immigration. And such was life from the mid-1920s. The economy was booming, cars were being produced, records were being set in the air, and life was good. But the Roaring Twenties weren't over yet. There was still more to come.